Next up is the speed wire. It is a 9-conductor wire, it has all 8 speaker wires and this blue remote turn on. With the RCAs in place and taped up, we now know how long this piece of wire needs to be. I'm going to fasten it down just past the sub channel here will be where my first zip tie hole is going to be, because this sub wire will be over the top of it. Across the bottom is the rear, across the top is the front. I've twisted these in a way that they'll correspond to that. The next step is to cut these all to length and get those in underneath here. It's gonna take a minute to do. I'm also going to add in some more holes to line each one of these up and then get my remote turn on attached down here at the end, which we'll take a look at in a now. And those are all installed, remote turn on wire, everything's zipped up. And that brings us to the last wire, which is our sub wire. This has a nice ferrule finished end to go into the speaker cup and a staggered, just like we were talking about, set of terminals to go onto here. And this is just gonna come out this way. You can use one of the holes that already exists, and I will drill 2 more. Get those zip ties into place. And with that last wire in, I can put on my top here, because I'm done screwing wires in. I've already put the top on the RCA side, and that brings this amp board to a conclusion. Let's take a much closer look at it, shall we? Back of the car, front of the car, side, driver, this is gonna go down there. The ground will probably be located somewhere on this rail system here. RCA and speed wire are gonna go up the center console on this side. Our sub wire is going to tuck around and go up the back of the car along here. This is it. As you can see, it's this side is that 2-inch gap, but that's it. That's the whole amplifier. This makes it super easy. This is what we call back to front installation, meaning we put all this in and now all we have to do is fish this wire through the car. We don't have to spend that much time in it doing all of this. We can do it here on the bench. It's time to move it into the car, so let's get to it. Now, pulling up this carpet here, there's a factory ground bolt located right here, which is perfect. I will have to move and change the end on this, but no big deal. Fernando already drilled a hole in the firewall, which is what I was just running. Now I have some 3M strip caulk to insulate the hole so no water will get through. If you have a bunch of wires to run underneath carpet and stuff like that, don't worry about straightening up the carpet until you get all the wire down where you think it needs to go. If you keep, like, I mean, it's okay to like just keep it organized, but you're gonna constantly keep moving it. So wait until the very end and then reorganize, you know, put the carpet back where it belongs. Alright, and after wrangling around in the footwell of this car, the amplifier is all set, ready to go. Ground was attached to the factory ground point that was right there. Power wire came up and around and up into the firewall. The only thing I have left to do is connect these wires, my speed wire and my RCAs, to the back of the radio, but there's the amplifier mounted in place. Now the nice thing is that the gain controls are all located right here, so I can fold this seat down and get it all secured if need be. I'm not going to, I'm just going to fold it down and put it where it needs to. With the amplifier installed, Fernando has tackled the fuse holder at the battery. Let's take a look at it. On this one, the battery is located on the passenger side, so our power wire comes up and follows along the main wiring harness and ends up right here. There again, we made a ABS bracket, attaches to the factory stem. This will come off if need be, and of course attaches here to the battery. I took the time to attach my speed wire to the speaker wires, and the cool thing about the Alpine is that I can attach my RCAs before I attach it to the radio. And basically what that means is that all my plugs are all set and ready to go to plug into the factory dash bezel with my aftermarket radio on it. I added in my USB adapter. The pack GM USB 1 doesn't clip into place. There are some that do, so we add heat shrink over it to hold the whole unit together, and that has worked really well for us. And then this will plug into the back of the radio. Fernando took the liberty of running the hands-free mic. It's located up here by the mirror. But yeah, now let's just get this in and we can turn it on and see what it sounds like. Before I get started plugging everything back in, I need my airbag light right here so I can reattach it to the dash kit. There's a lot of plugs that need to get plugged back in, so take your time and go slow. If a plug gets tangled or it isn't run the right direction, make sure to unplug it and redo it so that it makes sense. You want to try to keep this stuff as organized as possible. Looking at all the wire that was coming out of the dash, you can see why I removed that brace. Streamlines the installation so much better. All right, I think I have everything plugged in. Naturally just go over it. On the aux jacks on the Alpine, make sure you push them in all the way. I don't know what it is about Bluetooth mics on these, but for some reason we always manage to not push it in all the way. Make sure your air conditioner, your hazards, all 4 of those plugs are in. Everything is good. Snap it into place. Before we put in these top 3 screws, we'll turn it on. All right, so CarPlay popped up, good sign. It means our USB is connected. What's the weather like tonight?
The forecast is calling for clear skies tonight.
Our push to talk features work on the steering wheel. With that working, before we play it, we want to go into our setup, go to sound, and check our balance and fader. All right, that is the driver's front, passenger front. That is actually wrong. That is playing the passenger rear. All right, so our back is flipped. Let's test our polarity now. Okay, so we have red there. Let's see what these are doing. All right, we have red there. Good sign. All right, red. All right, red. Let's check the rears. All right, I can see the red light flashing, so we have reds. What do you got?
Red.
So remember, when doing your polarity pops, you're checking to make sure that your speakers are moving in the directions you want them to go in. In this case, all the speakers in this car are going the same direction, so we're good there. We do need to flip the rear, figure out what happened there. And then we can move on to finishing assembly on the dash, and we'll set some gains and we'll take a listen. But before we do that, let's take a look at the subwoofer. Fernando got the subwoofer in the box. It's sitting down back here behind me. You can see the seat comes down. We ran the wire back. We have plenty of room. It has these 2 legs, as we showed you, to lift it up above. And that is to clear those 2 notches. And there is the Comp RT in place. They do make a dual 10 version of this if you guys want a little bit more bass. However, for this, I think we're good. Found the reason why the rears were backwards. The purple and green RCAs were upside down right here. So it's simple, just flip them. And now we have everything set the way we need to. We don't get a chance to do a lot of these, but even though it doesn't have a tweeter, they play up really, really high. And honestly, I think they're brighter than the 6.5s in the back. Like when I was A-beam between the 2, I thought this high frequency that this creates is more intense than the 6.5 in the back. Which is could be too, because the 6.5 is really, really low in the door. That's part of the problem for sure. But these up on the glass are really, really nice. They have a nice bright sound to them. So it feels like there is a tweeter. This has a really nice sound to it. It's a nice little system that we've put in this truck. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a Nissan Frontier, something a little different.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to film it, so that you guys could, you know, have some fun and get a little bit of other, you know, whatever.
Yeah. The other whatever.
Whatever. All right, guys, Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Work those steering wheel controls.